Hello and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah and today we are talking all about balance and specifically how to find balance within a minimalist lifestyle. Of course, the good news here is that living a more minimalist lifestyle does make it easier to find balance, but it can still be really tricky because there are a lot of different things on our plates that we're trying to keep track of and manage. Even if it's not as much with physical items anymore, there's still other factors in life and only a finite amount of time and energy and all of that. So with today, we've got a helpful tool we're going to use that no matter where you're at in your decluttering or minimal journey, I think you'll find helpful. And it is called the Wheel of Life. This was originally created by Paul J. Meyer with the Success Motivation Institute. And I have modified it just a little bit to suit my own needs and maybe to suit your needs as well, coming from a minimalist perspective. And I also filled out an example one that I'm going to walk you through today. Yes, I did make it kind of colorful here, but I thought that this could be a really helpful tool for us to examine where we're at in terms of the different components of life that we're balancing and what we might want to do going forward to help us further find balance. It's also important to acknowledge that balance is going to look different for each of us. We all are managing different commitments and obligations, and we have different priorities, so that is going to shape the way that we view this. But as long as you're filling it out or thinking about this in a way that works for you, that is great. And it's also important to know that even when everything is perfectly balanced, in life, it doesn't usually stay like that forever. There's often little things that we can do here and there if we start to feel like something maybe is falling a little bit out of balance or out of alignment, and we can try to bring it back to whatever that healthy point is for us. That being said, let's get into the activity. You can get a free copy of this template I put together in the description field of this video. Download it, print it out, or draw your own if you prefer. It's pretty simple. And after you have it printed out and ready to go, at that point, then you're going to choose to label the different sections. Now, on the default template, there are 8 sections, but you might have more or less things on your plate than 8 different components. Now, what do you choose to include in the sections? Well, as you can see on the handout, you can include topics such as family, friends, your spouse or partner, health, home, career, money or finance, personal growth, impact or legacy, fun or hobbies, spirituality. It's completely open to you. You decide the components you wish to use. For me, I chose family and spouse, and I lumped that together. Friends, health, home, career, money, personal growth, and fun and hobbies. After you've selected your topics, go ahead and write them in on the outside of the circle by that corresponding section. After you've labeled the sections, you are then going to color in each section or each piece of the pie based upon how satisfied you are with that part of your life. We can think about this as a rating between 1 and 5 because each little piece of the pie here has 5 sections. So if you're not very satisfied with how that part of life is going, just color in one of the sections. However, if you are very satisfied with something and want to give it a 5 out of 5, you're going to color in all the pieces. So for me, I had 2 where I was very satisfied with how these parts of my life were going, and that was personal growth and family and spouse. So with those, I colored those in fully. But then the other ones, not so much. I had some different 3s and 4s personally. I have worked on a lot of this stuff before, so of course, no worries if you have any low numbers. The reason we're doing this exercise is so we can identify these areas that we need to target and work on. Hopefully you're getting a good sense about how this works. I thought I would walk through mine here just to show an example of the thought process you could do as you're going through and reflecting about these. Like I mentioned, family and spouse for me is completely filled in. That is definitely an area that I prioritize and that really matters to me, and I don't have any big changes I'd like to make with it. I feel very lucky and very happy to be with my husband Jake as well as a part of my family. On the friends section, I gave myself a 3 out of 5. Now, in the current phase of life I'm in, I'm not necessarily craving a lot more friend interaction. I've been very satisfied with the friendships I have, but I know that I am not always the best friend for other people. And I do think a lot of my friends, we have a very similar personality type, and we're just like really hard workers and go-getters with our careers. And then we'll check in, here and there, and it's just like old times. But I could definitely do better with initiating contact with friends. So that's why I gave a 3 out of 5. My health, I also gave a 3 out of 5. And while there's certain things that I am doing well, every single day, even in the cold weather, I always will walk for about 45 minutes outside. So I'm always moving in that sense. And overall, a lot of the foods I'm eating are pretty healthy, but I definitely don't get enough sleep. It's especially gotten bad as this bathroom renovation is happening. I'm a night owl and I can't sleep in as much. So it's been definitely a lot less sleep recently. So that's not ideal. I also sit more than I should and could do better on cutting out a few treats that I enjoy. So with that, there's definitely progress that's been made, but I can definitely keep going as well. For home, I put 4 out of 5. I'm very satisfied with where we live, and we went through such a transformation over the past 5-6 years as I decluttered. So it's not a concern anymore. With that, I still think there are improvements. The bathroom renovation is happening right now, which I think once that's done, our overall satisfaction with the space will increase. And I think in terms of overall decor, there are a few changes I ideally would like to make. A lot of the furniture in our home we just took in from random places just to get it secondhand or even free from random places, but it was never really assembled in a way that looks good together or looks super professional. So with that, I think it would be cool at some point, again, no timeline on this, but to update some of that furniture and help have a more cohesive look throughout the home. So I think that would be where I'd take it to the next level, but overall, very satisfied from, especially the clutter perspective. For career, I also gave myself a 4 out of 5. I've continued to try out a lot of new approaches and different things for myself as an entrepreneur running Abundantly Minimal, and then Mr. and Mrs. Social Studies, my teaching business. And with those, there's a lot of joy that comes from it, but there's also, I found some things that I don't like about it as much, and me trying to figure out what the ultimate approach is for the businesses as I move forward. So overall, very satisfied, but there's some room for improvement. For money, I also put a 4 out of 5. I feel very grateful to be in the financial situation that my husband and I are in, and I think there is a lot of good we're doing with the way we're tackling our mortgage and the way we're budgeting, but there is always room for improvement, and I would like to get better with looking into more retirement and investment options in the future and bumping up our contributions for those each month. Personal growth, I'm very satisfied. If I want to learn something, I am on it. I'll take a course, I'll read about it or get some books about it, and I kind of dive in, maybe a little bit too intensely sometimes, but I love learning and continue to do so. I think that's what helps me grow in life, so I definitely prioritize that. I'm happy with that. And fun and hobbies, I gave myself a 4 out of 5. Truth be told, I don't really practice hobbies that are not work-related, so that's, I think, something that could be improved. But I do genuinely love the work that I do for, the different parts of my businesses, and I get to be creative, which I enjoy. And I do enjoy some of the fun activities like cooking or baking, traveling when I can. Haven't done that in a while. And sometimes Jake and I will watch shows together, or YouTube together. So I would say overall we're a 4 out of 5 there. Now, after going through it, you're going to be able to identify some of your strengths and struggles. As we saw on here, friends and health were my biggest struggles. So how do we take this activity and make changes into our real lives? Select your bottom one or your bottom 2 or 3 categories, and those would be areas to work on first, trying to bring them up to support more balance. So for me, with friends, I talked about that part of the issue is I want to initiate more. So it's simple. I should reach out to different people, try to set up some, maybe Zoom hangouts with some people as well, and just get the ball rolling on that. Maybe I make a goal for myself to reach out to someone new each day who I haven't talked to recently, even if it's just a text or an email or some sort of other check-in. For health, that one's a little bit more multifaceted. You could actually even break down physical health, mental health, but for me, I think sleep is really the situation that affects everything else. And For me, it's going to bed earlier is really going to be the option. So maybe I would give myself a goal of, hey, you know what? To try to go to bed earlier, you have to cut yourself off at 1 in the morning. I know 1 a.m. for others is late. For me, that's on the earlier side. But that would be a great option for some ideas of how you could put some of these changes into effect. Again, what your wheel of life looks like is going to be very different, but it's a great visual representation to see where things are at and what changes you might want to make going forward. If you'd like to get a copy of this free printable, you can do that by looking at the link in the description field of this video. And if you're looking for more ideas of how to live a more minimal life, I did just release my new ebook. It is called Abundantly Minimal's Complete Minimalism Guide, and this is so thorough and gives my best tips related to decluttering your life, decluttering your home, simplifying and living a more intentional life on a daily basis. We've got some money saving strategies in there as well. So it's a really good, well-rounded approach to live more minimally. So if you're, let's say looking at this and thinking, there's a lot of changes I want to make, it's possible that book could be a really helpful resource for you. So again, I will also leave that ebook linked in the description field of this video as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what areas you want to work on out of these different categories, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!